What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Unscripted right here on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. I'm going to be your host and moderator for this evening, Logan Landers, and joining me as always are my co-hosts that you know and love so much. First off, we got our guy representing H-Town to the most, Jay McLovin. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up, H-Town? I'm glad to have Scott here. I'm looking forward to talking with him.
Oh, yeah. And finally, our newest addition, Frankie C. What up, Frankie?
What's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome, Scott, to Unscripted.
All right. Hey, and of course, like you said, you heard his name. Let's introduce the man, the play-by-play announcer for Monster Jam, Scott Jordan. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing good. If we're going to address Pats Nation, I need to say hello to Ravens Nation then. Ravens flock.
Oh. Already got a rivalry on hand. Not even 2 minutes in. I love it. Well, all right, Scott, we got a few questions for you here on the show.
Sure.
Talking some Monster Jam with you is your passion, I know. So first off, just describe to the viewers out there what it was like, first off, with the COVID going on and affecting Monster Jam and how you guys are still trying to get fans back in and be safe. How's that going for you?
Yeah, it's going really well. I'm in Arlington here this weekend for round 15 and 16, which is fitting because this is where we came in October when Monster Jam came back after, almost a 10-month layoff. So those two events that we did in Arlington were really well done and pretty much set us up for the Stadium Championship Series. Everybody was a little nervous and on edge. We all had to get tested for COVID 10 days out to the event. And then we came here to Arlington and got tested on site every day and, went through the temperature checks and everybody was socially distant and masks everywhere. We were, in our small little bubbles, and that's still the protocol that we're doing now. It's everybody is just in a bubble, and you get tested here at the venue. You get tested, your temperature checked every day as well. And the buildings that we've been to so far in Houston and Orlando and Tampa and Jacksonville, their protocols have been really good as well, keeping the fans safe and just kind of keeping all of that going on, especially Jacksonville. The TIAA Bank Stadium, that was our largest crowd, over 17,000 there, and everybody just at a distant level from each other. So it's been amazing. I think we've exceeded everybody's expectations, and we have sort of carried the flag for live sporting events with fans here. And I think as the year continues to grow and everybody starts getting vaccinated and kind of things start getting a little bit back to normal, I think you'll see more Monster Jam shows coming. I know we're going to go back to arenas as well here, but I'm excited. Texas is open, but even though Texas is open, we're still doing our protocols for COVID here.
Yeah, that's always glad to hear you guys are keeping it safe. And whenever you guys come back to Atlanta, I'm not too far away, I'm about 30 minutes away. I'm definitely going to go check y'all out for sure. I used to go all the time growing up, watching all the great trucks, the Grave Diggers, the Maximum Destructions.
Man, yeah, we'll be back in Atlanta in like a month, less than a month.
There you go. There we go. We can all meet up and go see some monster trucks. Go at it, man. That'd be great. Do some backflips as well. That's still crazy how those insane trucks can do those flips and stuff, and all the racing's pretty exhilarating as well. But man, to me, freestyle is always the best. Just doing those insane tricks. That's unbelievable how they can do that. And man, I remember going as a kid, always having the earmuffs on because the engines were so loud, and watching all those trucks, whether it was like I said, the Grave Diggers or the El Toro Locos, or seeing even some of the old WCW trucks they used to have with the Stings and Goldbergs. Those were always great to watch.
Yeah, those WCW chassis still exist. They're still around.
Wow.
Different bodies on.
Well, there we go. Perfect. All right, Jay, why don't you ask your question here to Mr. Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. I was, growing up as a kid, man, my dad would take me to Monster Jams and all these, different, well, I don't know if it was called Monster Jam back then. It was at the Astrodome. We always go to the Astrodome. The Energies wasn't even around back then. But we go to the Astrodome and go watch it. So, I see where it was at then. I see kind of where it's at now. What is Monster Jam, or how do they plan to grow the sport and get it, and raise the popularity of it going forward?
Well, next year is Monster Jam's 30th anniversary. Prior to Monster Jam, it was the USHRA Hot Rod Association, the US Hot Rod Association, which is USHRA, basically, USHRA. And then Monster Jam came in, and now 30 years later, we're hopefully next year back to a full schedule with multiple tours and more trucks and get more drivers back in the fold. So we plan on celebrating not only that, but the 40th year of Gravedigger as well. 1982 was when Dennis Anderson found a Gravedigger. So we have 2 big anniversary years next year. So I know that if 2021 was marked on the calendar as let's see what we can do, let's see how safe we can be and how much we can do with what we're restricted in. And I know 2022 was kind of circled as, all right, these are 2 huge anniversaries. We want to celebrate as much as we can with our fans. So I think you're going to see as the end of 2021 comes, and as long as everyone stays safe and we don't have any major issues and things are starting to align and everything, I think you're going to see Monster Jam really take a next step to the pinnacle of where live sports will be starting next year. And I think we're going to be at the forefront of that with, hopefully maybe not full capacity, but, maybe 60, 70%, who knows. But I do know there are huge plans for next year, as long as we can stay ahead of COVID-19.
Absolutely. Also, I saw where your wife got you some Randy Macho Man Savage stuff, right? So you're a Macho Man fan.
I am a Macho Man fan. My 3 favorites when I was a kid: Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Macho Man Randy Savage. And I had the chance to meet Hulk Hogan, a few years back, and actually spend the night at his beach house, which was an incredible day for me. But Macho Man, God rest his soul, was somebody that I just idolized as a kid as well. Just
Yeah.
There you go.
His bright colors. Actually, it's funny. Yesterday, I was watching WrestleMania 4 in my hotel room, just going back through that whole tournament for the championship and watching that. But just his colors, man. The purple and the yellow, the bright orange and the green, just so cool. And I have always been a fan of Macho Man memorabilia and clothing. So my wife was kind enough. I had this old Macho Man T-shirt that was ripped up. The sleeves were cut off. I had kind of cut a little thing in the V-neck that always expanded down. Every time I put it just looked more and more beat up. And she said, "You can't wear that anymore. Like, let me get you some new stuff." So WWE Shop has some really cool things available. She just surprised me one day with all of it.
Hey, that's a good wife that hooks her husband up. That's a really good wife.
Very, very blessed. She's amazing, man.
I'm still trying to get my wife to hook me up with some stuff, and she ain't. I don't know. Maybe I need to get your wife talk to my wife so I can start getting some cool stuff.
There you go.
Jay, you have to know wrestling stuff in order to get wrestling outfits.
We're getting you into it, Jay. Don't you worry. We got you watching AEW and WWE.
Yes,
we're going to get you into it, buddy.
Frankie is my second round of wrestling partners.
There you go.
Yes, I am. Your upcoming event, is it going to be televised?
Yeah, we're here for 2 rounds, 15 and 16, so they will be televised. I had the date here. We're every round that we're on, we're doing everything live now. So yeah, Saturday, May 29th at 7 Central is round 15, followed by round 16 at 8 Central, and that's on NBCSN. So yeah, we have 26 rounds this year. We're going to do, I think the plan is to do all 4 rounds in Atlanta, and then St. Louis, Glendale, Indianapolis, and then that should conclude our television season for the year.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'll be sure to do that.
That's awesome. I wasn't a big Monster Jams guy back in the day, but now that I have kids, I want to change my life for them and, learn new stuff and everything like that. And I slowly starting to like Monster Jams. I like, how big trucks can jump high the way they can and the way you guys can flip them. It's insane. How many flips have you done on a truck?
I would love to, get in one and take it for a spin, but that's sort of a conflict of interest on my job to call it. My wife wants to drive, and she can drive anything. So I hope that one day she can get behind the wheel of a truck. I'm not sure how I'm going to call her races and freestyles without some sort of bias, but I'm gonna have to be very, very critical of that. But I would love to drive one at some point. It's just the opportunity has not really presented itself to have that happen. But I do know, as a pit reporter, I've been in many trucks and just kind of learn everything about them and how they run. So I know how to, I know how to start, I know how to drive it, I know what everything does. I just have never actually had the opportunity to drive one before.
It's amazing that your wife want to drive one, because in so many sports all around the world, females nowadays are changing the sports world. And it's amazing. I hope that not only can you accept it, that she can get into a truck and do what you do best. But hopefully soon we can all see her do what she does best and get in a truck and show the other men off, just like you have.
Yeah, I think that when things open up and there are opportunities again for Monster Jam University to come back and be able to test in the trucks, I hope she'll get an opportunity. I mean, for me, she is the most amazing woman in the world. She's the hottest woman in the world, and I think if Monster Jam gave her a shot, there'd be some huge dollar signs there for them.
There you go.
Listen, for everybody watching, if your wife or girlfriend or spouse gets you a wrestling outfit of your favorite wrestler,
Yeah.
she's the best woman in the world.
There you
My
go.
my wife, she bought me 2 championship belts and all my wrestling gear, my Seth Rollins, my NWO, everything. So yeah, she's the best, no doubt about it. So I see where you're going with that.
There you go.
That's a key. You just mentioned being a pit reporter.
Yeah.
But I know you did some Supercross as well before you went over to Monster Jam. Was being in just the racing field, was that always your aspiration as a broadcaster, or were you more into the traditional sports of baseball, football, stuff like that?
I was, I've always been more into football and basketball and baseball, but I followed Supercross since I was a kid, so for me, when I got hired with Monster Jam, Supercross was sort of at the time it was there as an opportunity that I wanted to have at some point, just to be able to call some Supercross races. And I was able to call the Monster Energy Cup back in my first year with Monster Jam, 2017, and then 2018 I did it again. And then in 2019, the plan was for me to again be a pit reporter for Monster Jam, but I went up to Feld headquarters and Scott Douglas pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you're going to go do Supercross play-by-play for this season." And that also happened to be my first year as the host of Monster Jam on NBCSN, so I got to do both, which was just a huge thrill for me to be able to call Supercross and also do Monster Jam television. So yeah, it was definitely in the cards. When I got hired by Feld to do Monster Jam, I always wanted to try Supercross, and I was able to spend a whole season with them and then come back to Monster Jam, which is really my home. So for me, that was a huge thrill to be able to do that. But yeah, traditional sports for me. Grew up in Baltimore, so NFL, Major League Baseball, NHL, and NBA. NASCAR was always huge where I grew up, and then of course Supercross and Monster Jam now are my two, favorite sports in my home right now.
Yeah, Jay, you got another question for Mr. Jordan here?
Yeah, just real quick question. When I grew up, like I said, I watched Bigfoot. I don't really hear much about him anymore. Has Bigfoot kind of gone away? Is he not really around, or what's going on with him? I know Gravedigger has really kind of blown up, but whatever happened to
Bigfoot around here? We don't talk about it.
It's a little taboo, Jay.
No, no. Listen, we're realists here. Bigfoot does exist, and Bigfoot right now, is a part of another promotion. Yeah, Bigfoot and Gravedigger had epic battles for many years, and then Bigfoot went and started doing more independent things when Monster Jam became a huge entity. Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson stuck around, but yeah, Bigfoot is around still, and still doing some cool things, but just not with Monster Jam.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Still lurking around, I see.
Still lurking around. Yes.
All right, Frank.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, Frank, you got another question for Jordan here?
I'm going to take it off of monster trucks and everything like that right now. I did hear in the beginning of the show you're a Ravens fan. How do you feel about Sammy Watkins, going over to Baltimore and helping out Lamar Jackson?
I think it's great. We needed a veteran receiver. I know that the Ravens offered Juju Smith-Schuster more money to leave Pittsburgh, but he didn't want to do that. I can understand that. Now, if he would have taken less money to join, let's say, the Patriots, I would have been a little upset. But he took less money to stay home, and I believe they offered T.Y. Hilton more money to leave Indianapolis as well, and he chose to stay. So Sammy Watkins, obviously he's had some injury issues. I think he's averaged maybe 10 games for the last couple of years, but if we can get 10 good games out of him, then great. That'll open things up for Hollywood Brown on the outside, and I do think that in round 1 or 2, the Ravens are going to take a receiver. I'm hoping round 1. We definitely need an upgrade in the receiver room. They drafted Devin Duvernay last year out of Texas, who I think has a really bright future. Miles Boykin has been a little bit of a disappointment out of Notre Dame. So we'll see, man. But, it's the run-first offense. I'm hoping that they can balance things out a little more, but I think there's an issue with receivers wanting to come play in Baltimore when, you're going to have to block more than you're going to have than run routes. So we'll see. But I'm excited about Sammy Watkins. I think if he can stay healthy for the majority of the season, that gives Lamar a good target underneath and allows Hollywood to roam free on the outside.
You just got to protect Lamar. That's the big thing. You got to protect your franchise QB. That's the big one now.
That's right. Not bad for a running back.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Well, listen, you want to get under my skin, tell me Lamar Jackson is not a good quarterback, then we'll have a conversation.
He's not.
Oh, here we go. So you see the hat.
You didn't beat us. You didn't beat us last year. You didn't beat us last year. No team for the Patriots.
It's not like Cam Newton is any better.
Cam Newton averaged 87 passing yards a game, and
he still got the W last year against Baltimore in Baltimore.
If I can play in a sport where I can be way below average and still get $15 million a year, I sign me right up because that's Cam Newton right now.
Man, when they play this next season, we're gonna have to get you back on, Scott. We're gonna have a great debate between you and Frankie. We're gonna have to hype that up.
Listen, I will
AFC East. There
we go.
Only better team. Hey, Jay, you're the only one that likes the NFC team. AFC is the most dominant conference, so.
I can't say that. I'm a Cowboys fan. What am I going to do? Say something? I
You ain't got much room to talk right now, bro.
One day, the Cowboy Nation will rise.
Actually, I was here yesterday with a Ravens hat on, and I was wondering why I was getting dirty looks. I realized about midway through the day what the front of my hat said.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll do it. Well, Hey, Scott, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It's been a pleasure. Do you have anything that you would like to promote, or do you have any tips you'd like to give to the young viewers out there watching our show right now?
Yeah, just watch Monster Jam on NBC SN. We were around 15 and 16. I think we've only aired 6 rounds so far, so we still have 20 more to go. And watch the show, and any feedback you have, let us know on Twitter or Instagram. But we're killing it this year so far, and I'm excited to be back. And I think next year is going to be huge for us. So stay tuned.
Well, if you're ever looking for some play-by-play announcers to fill in for you, you got 3 of us right here that would gladly step in.
That's right. Well, send me your audition tape. I want you to commentate over a Cam Newton interception because there's many of those to go out.
Oh, yeah.
I can do that. I'll send you the demo reel.
Okay, please do.
There we go. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for watching our interview today with play-by-play host of Monster Jam, Scott Jordan. I've been your moderator, Logan Landers. We got our boys, Frankie C., Jay McLovin. Also, shout out to BS3 Radio with Spreaker for helping us out, and also Northeast Streaming Sports. Also, hey, don't forget about our jersey giveaway that we got going on in the comment section. Be sure if you guys enjoy this video, like it, comment it, and share it to all your Facebook groups. Hey, Scott, if you want a Lamar Jackson jersey, be sure to just start leaving some comments pretty quick. We're running out of time. It ends at the end of April, but April 15th will be when we announce the winners. And Frankie, I know if you want to get that Cam Newton jersey, just keep commenting away, man. You got to fight off a few people, but we'll see.
Well, you can actually.
I'd rather get someone else. I'd rather get Jarrett Stidham.
Get them at new markets all around the country. Cam Newton jersey. Hey, real quick, before we go, we were talking about wrestling, and I want to show off my edge tattoo for the wrong arm. The next
Yes.
There we are.
Yes.
That's bad. That's dope.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I know we're about to leave. WrestleMania is coming up. Mm-hmm. I know now that you just showed your tattoo, you obviously got to be going with Edge to winning the Universal title. If you don't mind, stop over for WrestleMania night. Me and Big Shaw, we will be doing live commentary for WrestleMania night for everybody that loves WrestleMania. And we will love it if you don't mind stopping by,
And I'm an Edge head, but I will say this. The fact that they added Daniel Bryan to the match makes me think maybe they've lost a little confidence in Edge winning that title. But again, he's on the creative team, so who knows?
That is true.
Yep.
Who knows? But it's going to be great, man. A triple threat match. only place to watch that is Peacock, I think now. So I need to change my WWE Network subscription, I guess.
Hey, we all got to get that. They got a deal going on right now for I think $3. I just checked. So now it's perfect time to sign up and watch WrestleMania coming in early April. Hey, for all the guests here, Jay McLovin, Frankie C, our amazing guest today, Scott Jordan. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We have been Unscripted, brought to you by Northeast Streaming Sports. We'll see you guys later on tonight for our original episode at 8 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned. See you guys.
You're listening to Unscripted on Northeast Streaming Sports.